Welcome to Star Watch Now, your front row seat to all the hottest gossip, drama, and breaking news from the world of entertainment. If it's trending, shocking, or star-studded, we're covering it. Stay tuned. You won't want to miss what's coming next.
Welcome back to Star Watch Now, where every moment in global entertainment is more than just news. It is a shift in power you can actually feel. Today's story is not simply about fashion, and it is certainly not just another celebrity appearance. It is about a moment that quietly reshaped the balance of influence on the international stage. When Wang Yibo stepped into Paris Fashion Week, the reaction was immediate, undeniable, and impossible to ignore. The latest data from Voice of Ocean did not just recognize his presence, it confirmed something much bigger. Rankings surged, conversations exploded, and suddenly, one name stood at the center of a global narrative that stretched far beyond the runway. What makes this moment so compelling is not just the numbers, although they are striking, but the meaning behind them. How does one individual capture the attention of multiple luxury houses at once? How does a single appearance translate into global discussion, admiration, and curiosity across continents? And perhaps the most intriguing question of all, are we witnessing a temporary spotlight, or the rise of a new kind of influence that redefines what it means to belong at the top of the fashion world? Stay with us, because this story goes deeper than you might expect. The numbers tell the first part of the story, and they do so with remarkable clarity. According to the latest Voice of Ocean data, Wang Yibo climbed to 11th place on the global celebrity ranking during Paris Fashion Week FW26. At first glance, it is an impressive statistic, but when placed into context, its significance becomes far greater. He stands as the only Chinese artist within the global top 20, positioned alongside some of the most recognized figures in international entertainment. This is not simply a ranking, it is a signal. It reflects not only visibility, but sustained attention, influence, and the ability to shape conversation on a worldwide scale. In an industry where competition is constant and attention is fleeting, maintaining such a position suggests something deeper than popularity. It suggests resonance. What makes this moment even more extraordinary is the rare alignment of three major luxury houses. Chanel, Lacoste, and Loewe each represent distinct philosophies within the fashion world, each with its own heritage, aesthetic, and audience. Yet, during this single season, all three converged around one individual. This is where the narrative shifts from impressive to exceptional. It is uncommon for a single figure to hold such a position across multiple brands simultaneously. Not because of contractual limitations alone, but because each house seeks a unique identity. For one person to embody three different visions at once requires more than versatility. It requires authenticity that can adapt without losing its core. Looking closer at the data, the impact becomes even more defined. Social media analysis reveals that a significant portion of Loewe's global attention during the event can be traced directly to Wang Yibo's presence. This is not a subtle increase, but a dominant share of conversation that places him at the center of the brand's visibility. In simple terms, the discussion did not just include him, it revolved around him. Similar patterns, though varying in scale, can be observed with Chanel and Lacoste. The effect is cumulative, creating a ripple that extends beyond individual campaigns and into the broader perception of each brand. But numbers alone do not create influence, they simply reveal it. To understand why this moment resonates so strongly, we need to look at how Wang Yibo presents himself across these different contexts. With Chanel, there is a sense of quiet refinement. The styling feels composed, almost understated, Yet it carries a subtle confidence that draws attention without demanding it. It reflects a modern interpretation of elegance, one that feels accessible yet distinctly elevated. With Lacoste, the energy shifts. The aesthetic becomes lighter, more relaxed, embracing the effortless balance between sport and sophistication that defines the brand's identity. It is not about complexity, but clarity. Then, with Loewe, the narrative takes on a more artistic dimension. The styling leans into individuality, allowing space for interpretation, for creativity, and for a certain freedom that feels both contemporary and timeless. What connects these different expressions is not the clothing itself, but the presence behind it. There is a consistency in attitude, a sense of calm assurance that does not rely on exaggeration. This is where influence begins to move beyond appearance and into perception. Audiences are not just observing outfits, they are engaging with a personality that feels grounded, focused, and intentional. In a global environment where trends can change overnight, this kind of stability becomes increasingly valuable. Another layer of this story lies in its cultural significance. The global fashion industry has long been shaped by a particular set of perspectives, often centered around established markets. Yet moments like this suggest a gradual evolution. When an artist from a different cultural background steps into a central position and is embraced by multiple international brands, it reflects a broader openness. It indicates that influence is no longer confined by geography, but is instead shaped by connection, relatability, and the ability to communicate across boundaries. There is also an emotional dimension that cannot be overlooked. For many viewers, this moment carries a sense of pride, not in an exclusive or divisive way, but in a shared recognition of progress. It represents the idea that dedication, consistency, and authenticity can lead to opportunities that once seemed distant. At the same time, it invites curiosity. How will this influence evolve? Will it inspire new collaborations, new narratives, new expectations within the industry? These questions keep audiences engaged, extending the life of the story beyond the initial event. What makes this entire phenomenon particularly compelling is its balance between visibility and subtlety. There is no need for dramatic statements or overt claims. The data speaks, the presence resonates, and the impact unfolds naturally. This creates a form of storytelling that feels both credible and inspiring. It does not rely on exaggeration, yet it leaves a lasting impression. As the fashion world continues to evolve, moments like this serve as markers of change. They remind us that influence is not static, that it can shift, expand, and redefine itself in unexpected ways. Whether this becomes a turning point or simply one chapter in a longer journey remains to be seen. But one thing is certain. It has captured attention, sparked conversation, and opened the door to new possibilities. If you enjoyed this deeper look into one of the most talked about moments in global fashion, make sure to stay connected with Starwatch Now. We bring you stories that go beyond the surface, exploring the meaning behind the headlines and the forces shaping the entertainment world today. Your support helps us continue sharing these insights. So, if you have not already, consider subscribing to the channel and turning on notifications so you never miss an update. Thank you for spending your time with us, and, as always, stay curious, stay inspired, and we will see you in the next story.